It's the most wonderful time of the year. Cool stuff, Kyle. So it's definitely been a couple days since we had this thing on the dyno. It gave me time to think about kind of what we want to do with it and where we want to go with it. So I've basically come down with 3 options for the car, and the first one starts with taking this all off and putting a single 88 back on it. And normally that would be great, but I don't like failing. And I want this 8 turbo thing to work. And although 737 horsepower isn't like a complete fail, it still was kind of a fail because I expected way more from it.
Let's just take a second to admire this bottle. You guys all remember that Twisted Tea meme that went around for like 2 weeks where the guy got hit in the face with the Twisted Tea? The boosted taste. This is probably copywriting some sort, isn't it? Probably.
Not for sale. I literally just brought a thing out here and I don't know if I brought it out. But do I got something to show you? Look at this. Oh, damn. I'd show you the rest, but my address is on it. And you guys are known to send like wiener things to me. Oh, they gave you a note. Something about 100,000 subscribers. Look at it. We got one, boys. Oh my. This shine. I gotta hang this up somewhere for sure. So back to this thing. Obviously, we had some issues on the dyno. If I post the video here, you can see that if you look closely, air is actually blowing out a couple of the turbos, and you can see it visibly if we look at them right here. Because it blew a little bit of oil out of this one, and this one, and this one, and you'll notice that this one is clean right here. And then it's the same thing on the other side where the front 3 have that little bit of oil in them, and then the back one actually is clean as well. And this is the one I noticed the most on. This one's actually like really clean until you actually touch it. So if you're new-ish here, this did have a single 88mm turbo on it. It made 1,040 horsepower on it, and it was good. It looked good. The kit was great. Put a picture up here. And I'm considering putting this single turbo back on, but I hate failing. Well, I don't hate failing to say because I actually like failing because that's how I learn how to do things better. So this might be an example of failing upwards where we failed and we have to build it better. So option number 1 is definitely put the 88mm back on, have fun with the car, build Virginia's Fox at the same time, and then get our little Roy here a spot in the garage. Because this garage is a mess right now. And it's that time of year again, because the garage floor doesn't have a header wall around it, and it's finally starting to warm up in Canada, the snow is melting on the garage wall, it's coming inside, and it's like puddling in this back corner. I have to run a sump pump all the time just to get the water out of the garage. So option number 2, and I think this is the one we're gonna go with. We're going to take all these pipes off. We're going to take off everything that goes to the air to water intercooler. And for everybody who was commenting in the video and didn't know where this pipe went, this pipe comes around. It actually goes inside the cab here. There's an air to water intercooler on the floor behind this panel back here. You can see the pipes go through there. And I pulled the log from one of our dyno runs at like 25 pounds of boost. I think the intake air temperature was 56 degrees Fahrenheit. Blower cars only start to pull timing around 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So the motor was plenty cool, but like I said, we're gonna pull all this piping off. And I think what we're gonna try and do is I bought some intercooler cores and we're gonna put them in the front here and maybe tilt them or something just to get them in the front. And we're gonna go from each pipe into the intercooler core. So it's gonna go from the back into the front, and then each one's gonna have its own like 3 feet of pipe that goes into the core. And what we're trying to accomplish here is we're gonna try and stop the back feeding. I know that wasn't our biggest issue. Our biggest issue is actually on the compressor mat, but if we can stop this air from easily flowing to this air by having it run through 3 feet of pipe first, and then it would have to try and feed back this way, that might be our best shot at it. So I'm gonna give that a shot with these turbos. We'll keep the wastegate shut, and we'll see like the max amount of power we can make with that setup. And in my head that makes sense, but I'm just gonna quickly draw it out anyways. So essentially like this is 8 turbos kind of in our configuration. This is kind of where the intercooler is going to be mounted. It's not like obviously on the car right now. But my plan is to take each one of these and divide this end tank into 8 equal parts welded on the inside. So I don't know if that's 8 or not. I didn't count. That way, the only time that any of these turbos compressor air meets is going to be on the opposite side of the intercooler right here. So essentially this one's gonna go from here to here, this one's gonna go from here to here, this one's gonna go from here, there, and then this one goes there, there. And the only time that the air is actually gonna meet is actually on the far side of the intercooler here. And this, hopefully, will stop it from coming in through this side, back through the core, and back through that turbo. It might not mitigate the problem 100% because we're so far in the compressor surge side of the compressor map, but it'll give us the best chance at not having that compressor surge issue with what we have. And you know what? It's such a nice day out. Maybe I'll get the car out of the garage here for a minute. If it starts. It sounds like it was misfiring coming down the road. It's like popping and banging. The tune's probably bit off on like the cruise. Nice to get it out though. It runs and drives just fine. Other than the fact that it might overheat a little bit because the fan's not wired up here. I didn't actually get around to wiring this up. But it's been cold enough that any flow through the water pump has just been cooling it down anyways. And yes, there's still snow outside. Now here comes the third option. The third option being that we buy 8 brand new turbos. But here's the twist. Instead of running 8 on one cylinder, we'll run quad compounds. But in order to do that, it's gonna take a little bit of money, which I don't really mind doing if we do it correctly. So if anybody has some experience with compounding turbos, I would like you guys to comment and help me out, or tag somebody who knows what they're talking about. And I would like to figure out which 4 turbos we need to compound into which 4 turbos to make roughly 1200, 1400 horsepower, and maybe we'll go that route where we'll put 2 runners into 1 turbo and then feed that turbo into a bigger turbo or a smaller turbo. I don't know exactly what compound turbos work, but what if we do that, and then that way there shouldn't be as much backfeeding issues because the compressor surge maps should all line up. I think these guys are interested in the car. Maybe. Oh yeah, they be checking it out. Lucky? Another one. I think he's getting out. This gives me a good idea. What if we just went and parked this down at like downtown somewhere and just got reaction videos? What? I get that a lot.
Oh, someone's been busy during COVID. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, it's winter in Canada, so what else are you supposed to do?
Those slicks in the back?
They're actually drag radials, but nowadays drag radials are faster than slicks. This wasn't the way I parked it in the winter, but it's the way I have it now.
It was in a garage for most of it.
Yeah, but it had a big single turbo on it, and the car worked like awesome. It's just I got really bored.
It was just like a stack of eBay turbos, or?
Yeah. Essentially, they're like $80 turbos, and I was like, I'm just gonna weld all these up into one motor, and then...
Oh, I always wanted to do it to like a Civic or something. I never thought...
I did that too.
To a V8.
I got a Civic with 4 turbos on it too.
Oh, damn. I need pictures.
Yeah, go ahead. Just do what you need to do, man.
So you must be a bit loud.
Putty Dad, hello. We got a package in the mail here. I had to come inside to get a new battery, but one of our Patreon subscribers, Travis, I guess the kitty cat likes it, but this is our, he sent us a motherboard and actually an i9, like 9900 CPU, which is crazy. It has a water block on it. We won't be using a water block. We're just gonna be using like a regular cooler, but this is like a huge help because we're just building like a dummy computer here that we can stick a capture card into, and then this one will become the stream PC. So I don't know if you guys are into computers or not, but it's the same case as this one, but in black. It's like a Cooler Master case. This one actually has a Ryzen 9 3900 and a 5700 XT in it. This is what she uses for gaming primarily, but she's gaming and streaming on it right now. And we just like to take the load off this PC, so we'll build a second one, put it beside it. And Virginia really loves doing this, so in order to push her further with this, we'll just get her set up. And like I said, she's got a pretty big announcement coming up tonight live on her stream, and she wants to be the first one to announce it. So if you guys want to check that out, her stream links are all down below. What do you mean? I can totally see out of the window. Let me know what you guys think, option 1, 2, or 3. Option 1 really isn't an option because putting a single turbo back on it will be lame. But the only reason I was considering putting a single turbo back on it, there's a Canadian company that is pondering making turbos and is already in the development of making turbos and has prototype turbos in their hands ready for testing currently. And I was going to use this as a test mule, but I kind of like option 2 for now. And if option 2 doesn't work, I think we move on to option 3 and try compounding, like a quad compound setup. No one's done that. Nobody's done that I know anyways, but it'll be something unique, but still have the heart of the 8 turbo build. And I feel like if we can make the quad compounds work, I won't feel as much of a failure as this feels to me right now. So I'm willing to make a whole new turbo kit, whole new manifolds, whole new like wastegate setup, whatever. The only thing being, when you guys pick your turbo choice, try and pick from eBay. I know it's not ideal, but we still do have a limited budget. Here comes our next topic of discussion. We've been expanding, and I have this opportunity for you guys. I've been starting to partner up with people who are like smarter than me. And essentially, the whole giveaway car thing keeps making more and more sense. So with the giveaway welder, that's actually really cool, and that actually ends March 10th is the final date. $1 gets you 1 entry kind of thing. But we should expand on that. We should really expand on that and give away things that people love, they can see on the channel, things that we've built. Like, as cool as this car is, I'm not emotionally tied to this car, and I wouldn't even care giving it away. Give it away with the 8 turbos on it, or give you the single turbo kit with it too. So you can have either or what you wanted. But something like that is definitely in the possibility of cards, and I've been having some meetings and talking to the right people. And big things are going to be happening soon, which is, it feels wonderful to have all these little things come together in order to move away from my regular job and move into something that I love doing, which is like building cars, having fun, being in the garage. If I could be out here all day, every day, it'd be like dream come true. And not even just here. Why are we limiting ourselves to this garage? Why not a bigger garage? Obviously not in this town because everything's expensive, but what about a warehouse where we just build cool shit? And with this, I actually intend to bring it out the way it currently sits without tearing it apart yet. As soon as the weather gets nice enough to pull the Hellcat out of the other garage, we're actually going to take this and the Hellcat, line them up. We'll just see kind of where the comparison scale is against a real car. And then once the Hellcat's out of the other garage and spring is gone, we can actually put something in the other garage and have more space to work on other things as well. So I'm actually genuinely curious about your guys' feedback, where you guys want to see the build go with this. I'd like to see it successful. I'd like to see it to a point where the boost isn't leaking out and it can make somewhere between 800 or 900 horsepower, and if we had to add nitrous then, it will. We could have added nitrous on the dyno. The only thing is, with the turbos not being efficient and not being consistent, it wouldn't have even made sense to just try and overpower the turbo some more with some nitrous. Now, it's one of those times where I feel kind of bad because I haven't uploaded in like a week. I did upload a video of building this Mustang in 8 minutes, and it did horribly, horribly bad. So I did end up taking it down. I'm gonna remake that video a bit longer and a bit better, and hopefully re-upload it again, because I wanted it to be something special. I wanted something that you could send to somebody who'd never watched a single episode of the build, and they can follow along and understand how we got to where we got without having to watch 14 parts of a video or whatever. That's it for me. I'm gonna be on Virginia's stream tonight, which is gonna go live probably around 9 p.m. Mountain Time, whatever time that is for you. We usually always hang out there after dark. We just play some Fortnite, or she does body paints or whatever. It's a fun way to relax after a day of like working, because playing games is fun. It's like what I enjoy doing. So I'm gonna give you guys this. I'm gonna go ahead inside now. I have to come back out here after, and I wanna completely clean this up and get it back to a semi-professional looking thing, even though I'm not semi-professional, but I just want it to be a lot better because I feel really cramped in my workspace right now, and you're really cramping my space. So peace easy and get that V.